Welcome back, everybody. It's your good friend Trandell. We are back playing some more Remnant 2. This is going to be my first kinda guide for Remnant 2, more of a inspirational thought sharing thing. I've been wanting to do. I've had quite a few questions about my current build and just build making and theory crafting in Remnant 2 in general. I wanted to get something out there. Because that's one of my favorite aspects of the game. The build options, the theory crafting in Remnant 2, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing given how new it is and just all the different options. If there's a play style you enjoy using in games like this, I'm pretty sure Remnant 2's got you covered. So like I said, I've had a couple questions about it. I thought I'd get something out there, short and sweet, just kind of talk about my general thought process when it comes to theory crafting and the build itself. So, if you've seen any of my streams so far, you've probably seen me talk about my fiery hell crabs. Basically, the whole gist of the build revolves around this amulet right here, the detonation trigger. Any explosion damage you do is increased by 25%, which, hey, that's amazing in and of itself. And explosions apply burning damage over 5 seconds. So, the moment I saw this amulet, I immediately thought of the Space Crabs mod. You launch an alien egg that bursts on impact, releasing 5 space crabs, and we'll actually talk about the space crabs a little bit later because they actually interact with the build on more than one level, not just the damage. Crabs follow the caster, leaping towards enemies within 4 meters and exploding, keyword exploding, dealing 234 damage each. Okay. So let's break this down. First things first, let's give you a quick baseline of what the mod is without the amulet. Alright. Alright, so we got some charges, right? So baseline, it's pretty straightforward. You fire a little, space crab egg. A bunch of space crabs pop out. They blow things up. It's pretty straightforward, and in and of itself, the damage is pretty decent, just the way it is. And there's all kinds of utility with it too that we'll talk about. Now, I like to find as many common denominators that really sync up well together in my builds. Just having one mod usually isn't what I'm looking for. I try to find multiple areas in my builds that can all sync up together and enjoy the same benefits, right? So, the one thing I also noticed real fast is this guy right here. Now, rotted arrow. What does rotted arrow? So, this, again, the keyword we want to look for is the detonate. Basically, another way to say explosion. Fires a rotten arrow that deals damage and then detonates for another set of damage. And icing on the cake, it releases a deadly, gas cloud that's left behind that does even more damage, behind afterwards. Okay, cool, pretty straightforward. And this is what that looks like. Again, just a baseline. So, pretty self-explanatory. You got an upfront, damage from the arrow. You got detonation damage, and then the cloud. Okay, so now we have 2 different mods. that both do some type of explosion damage, right? Fantastic. Now, once we add in... Oh, where it is? Okay, there it is. This guy, though, this is what our... Here, let's clear that off some. I think it will reset. Okay. Now, this is what our rotted arrow looks like. So, not only was the explosive damage, you know, that got a nice little boost, but now we've got 2 damage over time effects going. We got the poison cloud and we got the burning damage. So it starts doing some real heavy lifting real fast. Now, let's see what our space crabs do now. Yeah, that's definitely nothing to scoff at, you know. Right off the bat, we got, what, an extra 30 to 40 almost explosion damage per crab. And we get the fire damage on top of it. So, hey, I mean, it works. And outside of, like, aberrations or, like, really super tanky elites, anything you hit with one of those bad boys, they're toast. They're done. They're just going to get completely, absolutely destroyed. Now, here's a couple other interactions that really will work well with the rest of my build. Again, I try to find as many areas as I can so let's get everything reset. That works together. So, the other aspect of my build that I'm really going for is survivability. I play mostly solo. I want to be able to deal with boss mechanics, deal with getting swarmed, and not instantly melting. So I looked for as many different, keyword different, defensive layers as I possibly could to help my survival odds go up. Not just running straight DR, it's DR, it's, okay, what can I use for sustain? What can I use to help pull aggro off of me? And the combination that I have found for myself that seems to work really well so far is the combination of the medic and the summoner. The summoner is a big part of my survivability equation. And one of the reasons why is this ring right here. So Soul Guard, gain a stack of Bulwark for each active summon. Okay, Bulwark, TLDR, it's a buff. It gives you 5% damage reduction per stack, caps off at 5 stacks. So 25 stacks, right? 25 damage reduction, okay? Now, where I'm at without anything is at 36%. Not the greatest, not the worst, but the moment I start popping out my minions, though, and you can see right below your stamina bar, so you got the red health bar in the middle, the gray stamina bar, right below that, that's where you're always going to see your buffs and stuff like that. You can see I already got 2 stacks of Bulwark. Now, that just put me at 45% DR. So, without doing anything at all other than, you know, popping out some minions, I've already got 10% more DR. It gets even better, and this is where the space crabs come into play, right? So, space crabs are seen and interact with mechanics like summons. The moment I pop my space crabs, there goes my Bulwark. Now I'm at 53 damage reduction with the space crabs out. So, right off the bat, I'm only like 27 1% shy of being capped for my damage reduction. And this is really important because I've seen a couple, let's just say, poorly made videos talk about damage reduction. Damage reduction caps off at a hard cap of 80%. After 80%, none of it matters. It's done. Doesn't matter if you have 90, 100, a million. The only thing that the game will count is that first 80%. So, with just what I have right now, I'm at 45, so I'm already more than halfway there. I pop the space bugs, and instantly I go up, another 25. Well, no, it'd be another 15%. So at that point, I'm sitting at like 60, so I'm only 20%, 20% short. Super easy to, to get with minimal effort. The space bugs, popping those like right before a big boss attack. Let's say this is a boss and is getting ready to come at me or something like that. I pop my space bugs. Well, bam. I've just made myself tankier for the moment when I need it to take that big hit, right? Okay. The other aspect of my build that also helps with that survivability, again, taking mobs, getting swarmed by a room full of mobs and stuff like that, is this guy right here, the Crystal Heart. On use, regenerates 115% of your max health over 10 seconds. The movement speed debuff is it's not the greatest, but you definitely learn to deal with it, and it doesn't impact you that much. Because during those same 10 seconds, you also take 25% less damage, okay? Which is huge. So where I'm at right now, at 49%, I pop this for 10 seconds. I'm literally just like right below the threshold. That puts me at basically, for all intents and purposes, 75%. So I pop this guy. Bam. Pop my minions. I'm done. I'm golden. I'm at my 80%. Basically, outside of some of like the hardest hitting stuff in the game, you're gonna laugh it off. And not only that, but that 115% max health over 10 seconds, any damage you take, you're instantly going to heal back up. And another reason why that's going to work out is because of this guy. So, summons, not you, summons lifesteal 5% of base damage dealt, returned as health to the wearer, so you. So I don't even need to be attacking anything at that point. I can just be running around, mobs whacking on me, a boss whacking on me. I got my freaking Crystal Heart going, healing me up. And I'll have my summons healing me up too. Again, multiple layers of defense and survivability. Not just damage reduction. The way I like to think about my builds in Remnant 2 is kind of like how I do my builds in ARPGs like Path of Exile. Anybody that knows Path of Exile and knows how to make builds for that game, you have to have multiple layers of survivability, of damage reduction. You can't just depend on one layer. With this, I got multiple already. I got damage reduction, I got lifesteal and regeneration from, my mobs and my Crystal Heart, and from my build. So, Siphoner, even more lifesteal. So, this gives me lifesteal on my attacks. So, not only am I going to get, 3%? Oh, no, it's 5. So, not only am I getting 5% lifesteal from my minions, I'm also getting 3% lifesteal from my own stuff. So, again, as I'm taking those hits, I'll be able to heal everything right back up without any issues. Now, the other aspects that also help with this. Now, the total DR may not look that great on its own, right? But that also doesn't take into effect Blood Bond. Now, what Blood Bond does, it absorbs 7% of the damage taken by me and gives it to my minions instead. So that's 7% damage that I don't even have to deal with right off the bat. And to help make sure my minions don't instantly just melt and vaporize the first time they get hit by a boss and I get hit by a boss, I'm also getting rugged. So this increases my summons health by 50%. Yeah, my minions don't die. They just don't. And one of the main reasons why they don't, and the reason why I have the archetypes that I do, with Medic being the prime and Summer being the second, is the prime perk for the Medic. So, Regenerator. After restoring 250 total health to allies, regain a spent relic charge. Basically, what that means is if my little dudes are on the verge of dying... Hold on, buddy. Yeah, see, they take, like, no damage. I wonder, can I... As I also blow myself up. Alright, that might be enough. So, if you notice the green bar right above my health bar, that is the Medic passive. Now, what that does is whenever that gets full... Let's see if this gives me enough. It totally did not. Oh, it got me close. So. Okay, that should totally do it. Now, watch. If I use my relic heart... Now, did you notice something? The bar got filled for half a second, then instantly went down. Now, once that bar fills, you get a relic use back. And that's why my crystal heart didn't go down, even though I just used it. You're taking damage. And since you're taking damage, your minions are taking damage. Your minions are going to be taking damage anyways. Which means you're always going to be able to heal them back up. Which means it's going to be super easy to fill up that Medic passive bar and just keep those Dragon Heart charges coming in. Unless it's a ridiculously long fight, you are most likely not going to run out of Medic charges. At some point you will, because each time you fill up that bar and get a charge back, it takes more and more to fill that bar up again. So at some point, yeah, it's going to be somewhat impossible, but that point is not going to be easily reached. So, like, let's get some more damage out. And like I said, my guys are so freaking tanky, so... So, we got some damage out. Let's pop a heal. Now, you can see, it's taking a little bit longer than before. But, it's still pretty easy to fill up. And bam, I'm already back at full Dragonheart usage. So, multiple layers of defensibility. And, even better, what did we talk about? Trying to find things that synergize. you can even get little healing pools from your guys. So let's say things are just going really bad and you need some heavy healing really fast. You can, sacrifice them, get some, really good healing pools, and they're almost immediately back up. Because since you're going to be able to keep them pretty topped off, the cooldown's going to be relatively low. The other thing you can do too, if you don't mind sacrificing just a little bit of survivability, like 5% damage reduction, because I also experimented with this. Let's say you really need to clear a room fast, right? Or the boss is almost dead and he's only got a couple points left. You notice something there? Explosion damage. Your explosion damage from your big boy minion will also benefit from the detonation amulet. You're going to get increased explosion damage, and you're also going to get that fire debuff also. So that's pretty much the build in a nutshell. I'm still tweaking it. I'm still finding new stuff all the time to make it even better. But so far, it's been doing real heavy lifting for me. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. The space crabs and the rotted arrow also have some really good utility aspects I want to touch on real fast. So let's say you're in some ruins, you're in a building or something, you got enemies ducking and dodging behind walls and stuff like that. Let's say you got an enemy up here that keeps on, taking pot shots at you. If you don't have clear line of sight, just, plop some space crabs up there. They will auto-target on their own, even without line of sight. So let's say you have a mob that's hiding behind this wall, or let's say you have a mob hiding behind this wall, or let's say it's downstairs or something, you want to clear things out and then make your way downstairs. You just pop in some space crabs. They will automatically go for what's ever closest. So if there's somebody hiding on, behind this wall, they'll go right at it. Same thing if there's a bunch of mobs up in this room that are there. Throw in a few space crabs, most likely they're going to be cleared out before you make it up the stairs. Same thing with the poison arrow. Same exact thing. Let's say you see a bunch of mobs in here, right? You don't have clear line of sight. Guess what? The rotted arrow does not care. Same thing with here. Say this is a hallway or stairs, right? There's a bunch of mobs coming down. Well, guess what? They just had a really bad day. Both of these abilities, the rotted arrow and the space crabs, are amazing when it comes to utility if you think outside of the box a little bit. So that's pretty much the build in a nutshell. Like I said, I wanted to get it out there. I've had, a couple people reach out and have some questions and just wanting some more details about it. Is it going to be able to do Apocalypse or Hardcore or any of that, nonsense? I have no idea. I got a feeling it might be able to hold its own. I don't play games for stuff like that. I play games because I have fun. I love thinking of fun, interesting builds that just feel fun to play, and that's why I play them. So, again, just a little bit of an inspirational thought sharing process. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If any of you did, please, the situation, hit the like button, leave some comments. If you have questions, I would really appreciate it. I've been enjoying getting back into streaming. It's something I've been, doing on and off for years, and I absolutely love it. And I think Remnant 2 is honestly a masterpiece in my opinion. I love the game. I'm trying to get word of mouth out for it because they totally deserve it. And all the likes and stuff definitely help the YouTube gods do that for me. So, as usual, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope everybody's having a beautiful Monday. And hopefully, we all be able to hang out again soon. Take it easy, everybody.